जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जयो राधे जयो राधे जयो राधे जयो श्री राधे जयो जगन्नाथ जयो जगन्नाथ जयो बलदेवा जयो सुभद्रमा जयो गौरानिताय जयो गौरानिताय जयो गौरानिताय जयो गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की नमाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga all glories to Srila Prabhupada की जय हरे कृष्णा So welcome to the daily morning Bhagavatam class. So today we are reciting the verse from Canto 3, Chapter 21, conversation between Manu and Kardama, and the text 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, please repeat with me. Rishir Uvacha Iti Avyalalikam Pranuto Avyalikam Pranuto Abjanaba. Okay, sorry. Iti Avyalikam Pranuto Abjanabas. Iti Avyalikam Pranuto Abjanabas. Tam ababase vachasamritena suparna paksho parirochamana premasmito dvikshana vibramadbru iti avyalikam pranutobjanabas tam ababase vachasamrutena suparna paksho parirochamana premasmito dvikshana vibramadbru Rishiruvacha Iti avyalikam pranutobjanabas tam ababase vachasamrutena suparna paksho parirochamana prema smitodvikshana vibramadbru. Prabhuji. Rishiruvacha iti avyalikam pranutobjanabas tam ababase vachasamrutena suparna paksho parirochamana prema smitodvikshana vibramadbru. Rishir uvacha iti avyalilikam pranutobjanabas tam ababase vachasamrutena suparna paksho parirochamana prema smitodvikshana vibramadbru. Anybody? Mataji, you want to try? Rishir uvacha iti avyalikam pranutobjanabas tam ababase vachasamrutena suparna paksho parirochamana prema smitodvikshana vibramadbru. Word to word meaning. Rishi Uvacha, the great sage Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Avyalikam, sincerely, Pranuta, having been praised, Abjanabha, Lord Vishnu, Tam, to Kardama Muni, Ababase, replied, Vachasa, with words, Amrutena, as sweet as nectar, Suparna, of Garuda, Paksha, the shoulders, Upari, upon, Rochamana, shining, Prema, of affection, Smita, with a smile, Udvikshana, looking, Vibramat, gracefully moving, Bru, eyebrows. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Please repeat with me the translation. Maitreya resumed, sincerely extolled in these words, Lord Vishnu, shining very beautifully on the shoulders of Garuda, replied with words as sweet as nectar. His eyebrows moved gracefully as he looked at the sage with a smile full of affection. Purport, please hear the purport. The word Vachasamrutena is significant. Whenever the Lord speaks, He speaks from the transcendental world. He does not speak from material world. Since He is transcendental, His speech is also transcendental, as is His activity. Everything in relation to Him is transcendental. The word Amruta refers to one who does not meet with death. The words and activities of the Lord are deathless. Therefore, they are not manufactured of this material world. The sound of this material world and that of the spiritual world are completely different. The sound of the spiritual world is nectarian and eternal, whereas the sound of the material world is hackneyed with the subject to end. The sound of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, everlastingly increases the enthusiasm of the chanter. If one repeats monotonous material words, he will feel exhausted. But if he chants Hare Krishna 24 hours a day, he will never feel exhausted. Rather, he will feel encouraged to continue chanting more and more. When the Lord replied to the sage Kardama, the word Vachasamrutena is specifically mentioned, since he spoke from the transcendental world. He replied in transcendental words, and when he spoke, his eyebrows moved with great affection. When a devotee praises the glories of the Lord is very satisfied, and he bestows his transcendental benediction upon the devotee without reservation, because he is always causelessly merciful towards his devotees. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsa Pamsagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Runda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So last week we were discussing about the Bhagavatam verses specific to the holy name. This week we are back to our regular topic, Canto 3, Chapter 21. So if we recollect what all had happened in this chapter previously, we know that this was a conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. Vidura was asking to know more about Swayambhuva Manu, the family lineage, and then he started explaining all the family who all are there in the Kardam Swayambhuva Manu family. Like he has 3 daughters like Devahuti, Prasuti, Akuti, and Devahuti is married to Kardama Muni. That's where before the marriage the verses were describing about Kardama Muni. So what Kardama Muni did initially, he did yoga, Ashtanga yoga he did for 10,000 years, and then the Lord Vishnu appeared in front of him. So generally, as we discussed in the yoga practice, once we see the Lord, there our business ends. But Kardama Muni is a devotee, so he started offering prayers to Vishnu. So after prayers have been offered to Vishnu, now the Vishnu was reciprocating with his prayers. So Kardama Muni's prayers. So in this verse, that's what the Maitreya was saying, how Vishnu started responding. So if you see that, it's a word in the prema is there. Like in the word means, the prema means it's affection. And the next one is smita. Vishnu is doing all these activities in response to Kardama Muni. He started smita, means smiling. And then udvikshana is looking towards Kardama Muni. And then vibраmat, gracefully, and bru, moving eyebrow. So when in response to the Kardama Muni prayers, he started looking at Kardama Muni, he started smiling, and graciously he was moving his eyebrows and started reciprocating. So this is what in the today's verse, the Maitreya Muni was explaining to Vidura. So in this purport, if you see, the Prabhupada was mentioning about the whatever words the Krishna is speaking, it is not material. Krishna is transcendental. His activities are transcendental. His speech, whatever he does, everything is transcendental. So in line to that, his words also transcendental. So the difference in the purport, Prabhupada was mentioning the difference between the transcendental and material. Suppose if you any movie songs or anything, if you hear for a couple of hours, then you feel bored. But when we hear chanting holy name, or when we hear bhajans from the senior devotees, various devotees, we keep on listening. Like if you see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to meditate on 192 rounds per day. He did for 9 years. Right? So similarly, many other devotees did the chanting, and even current age also, many of the devotees, they practice and they sing the murdanga, they practice for kirtan. They do hours together, they do chanting and they do kirtan. So these are all transcendental. When they do all these activities, they don't feel bored or they don't feel tired. So it will more, they will rejuvenate. They try to do more and more. So that is the difference between the transcendental and the spiritual sound vibration. So the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the spiritual sound vibration. So this is in summary, but in today's verse, I would like to briefly, in detail, we would like to discuss about the prayers. Because the Kardama Muni started offering prayers, in relation to that, the Vishnu started reciprocating to the prayer. So we try to understand what is prayer and how it is beneficial to us. We will try to go in little bit deep into this topic. So in Soul Srimad Bhagavatam, we have many prayers. Right from first canto, if you see, we have Kunti Maharani prayers, Bhishma Dev prayers, and in the later cantos, we have prayers of unborn, and Dhruv Maharaj prayers, and if you go further, Vritasura prayers, Rishabh Dev prayers, and if you keep on like Gajendra prayers, and then Dhruv Prahalad Maharaj prayers, and we have in 10th canto Gopi Geet, Gopi's prayers, and in 11th canto we have Uddhava Geet, Uddhava prayers. So across Srimad Bhagavatam we have many prayers, and these prayers they are all great exalted devotees expressing their inner feeling through the prayers that reflects their mood. The prayers reflect their mood and their devotion. So that is the significance of prayers. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioning to the Sanatan Goswami about 64 angas of bhakti, the 64 limbs of devotional service. In that, there are two things. One is Vijnapti, that is prayer. And second one is Stavapat, means reciting, listening the prayers of exalted devotees. So, the why we need is okay. Offering the prayers from our side is okay, that is one. But why we have to do the Stavapat, reciting the exalted prayers of other devotees? In what way it is beneficial? See, like if you are studying medicine, if you are trying to become a doctor, you have to train by another good surgeon, the doctor, famous doctor, senior doctor, right? Similarly, if you want to become a devotee, you have to learn from other devotee. Like these all great people, Dhruv Maharaj, Prahalad Maharaj, Gopis, all these people are exalted devotees. When we recite their prayers, when we listen their prayers, our mood will be transformed. We can become a devotion. So that's why we have to do the prayers. We have to recite the prayers of exalted devotees. Not only that, if you see the Bhakti Vinod Thakur and many acharyas, they composed bhajans. Those bhajans also, if you see their prayers, they are exhibiting their love towards Supreme Lord through those bhajans and prayers. So in everywhere we can see multiple humorous prayers and bhajans there. When we recite, when we hear, those things will transform our heart. It will clean our heart, and we will be able to progress in our devotional path. Now, because we have a chanting, right? Why we have to do prayers? What is the need? If I do only chanting alone, will that be not enough? Yes, but in a neophyte, when we start our devotion, we do chanting. Everything we do with so much enthusiastic, right? So after few days or few months, you start becoming mechanical. So you will not be, so then you will start losing focus. And you will, you reach 16 rounds. Initially, you will be very enthusiastically completing 16 rounds. But after 2-3 months, with now it may not happen to everyone, but some people, most of the people will start losing the taste because it become mechanical, monotonous, right? So you will be start losing you will start getting the distraction. What will happen as a result? You start committing offenses. Like the nama parad you will be doing. You will be chanting, and at the same time you will do something else. So you do all the aparadas, and this will cause what will happen? It will hinder your progress in your devotion path. Right? So that's where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained 64 limbs of the devotional. And again, in that it was in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see these were consolidated to 9 key devotional activities. That was Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, all those things which we see in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, in that 64 limbs, like I was listening our Guru Maharaj lecture, he was mentioning all these 64 angas are like a spiritual feast. Comprehensive spiritual feast. When we do all these things, we will be able to progress in our devotional path smoothly. So when we do all this, apart from, suppose some people are interested in deity worship, some people are interested in garland, some people are doing some other book distribution. Like these are various devotional activities. So along with chanting, when you do all these activities, what will happen? It will supplement. Like if you if in your body, if you are lacking some deficiency of vitamins, what you will do? You will take some additional supplements. Same way, all other angas of when you are doing chanting, but when you have started losing this focus and attention, when you do all the other angas of the bhakti activities like devotional, any other devotional service like what we discussed, book distribution or deity worship, any garland, making garland, when you all do, it will enhance your chanting. Like in the morning also, when we are doing the reading from the Nectar, the book, Holy Name, it was also mentioned same thing in today morning, right? When you do other services, it will supplement your chant, it will enhance your chanting. So we have to do other angas of bhakti while doing the chanting. That is what one of the important aspects. Now, what is the qualification required? Like only see, all the prayers were offered, we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, those are exalted players, senior devotees. Right? They are all very exalted and senior devotees. Only those can offer the prayers to the Lord? Need not be. Like prayers, like if take the Dhruva Maharaj story. Dhruva Maharaj was only 5 years old boy, and he went to forest to get some material benefit. What is his material benefit? He wanted to get the kingdom much bigger than his great grandfather Brahma. That was his intention. So by the mercy of Lord, he Narada Muni, he saw Narada Muni. Narada Muni explained the process to how he has to do the tapasya, and then he explained, he did the tapasya for some years, and after that Vishnu appeared, and when Vishnu appeared, he put conch shell on his body. Then Dhruva Maharaj completely transformed, and he started reciting prayers. So 5 years old Dhruva Maharaj, he doesn't have any educational qualification, but with the mercy of Krishna, Supreme Lord, he started reciting prayers. So it's what means is, we don't need to be scholar, we don't need to be fluent in grammar, everything. All we can do is we should have love and devotion towards Lord. When with those qualities, when you make prayers, Lord will reciprocate. That's what we are saying in Kardama Muni's pastime, where he sincerely offered prayers. In the prayers, he was mentioning that though he's a very fallen, he was looking for material desires, everything, he was explaining in the prayers. But though he is a devotee, he was whatever is in his mind, he was openly speaking and expressing his feelings. Right? So in response, Vishnu was reciprocating with a smiling face, and later we can see what Vishnu was mentioning. So this is what the qualification is. Only we should have love and devotion. So as the process, we will become senior exalted devotees. But qualification need not be exalted devotees. Any devotee can offer prayers. Prayers means nothing. You're talking to Lord. That is called prayer. You are expressing your heart, your inner feelings. That is a prayer. Now, what actually it's a prayer. We will discuss what kind of prayers we can offer. But in a prayer means just we are talking to the Lord. We are trying to establish the personal relation with the Lord. When you are offering prayer, just you and Lord are speaking. So when two people are speaking intimately, what will happen? Obviously, you will build the relation, right? You will establish a connection with the Lord, and you will have a loving relation with the Lord. So that's why the prayers are very important. It's an easy process. Just you open your heart and express your feelings. That is a prayer. Now let's see some of the benefits of the offering prayers. I was listening the lecture from Her Grace Nitai Sevini Mataji, and she was mentioning about the various benefits of the prayers. So I have taken some of them and I'm trying to repeat those same thing. So one of the benefits is like in our material condition, our mind will continuously making some thought process, right? So as per scientists prove that in a day, at least you will have 60,000 thoughts. It will be generated in your mind. Some of them may be repetitive, same thoughts may come, but in some research studies show that 60,000 thoughts will come in your mind. What kind of those thoughts? You wake up in the morning, you have to go to office, so you have to prepare your lunch, like all this material thing, and you will remember all your activities planned for the day, and you try to remember. So those thoughts, okay, after this I have to do this, another activity. I have to go to office. After coming from office, I have to do Woolworth or Coles to get some groceries. Like these things, these thoughts will come. Like that, you will have 60,000 thoughts. Some of them may be repetitive. That is one study. And other study said, unique thoughts, almost 6,000 unique thoughts will come from your mind. These are some scientific surveys they are telling. Now, in that 60,000 thoughts, you will have one thought, like, I wanted to chant today. Or I wanted to go to temple, or I wanted to become a nice devotee. These are thoughts will come. But when you are fully conditioned, when you are fully occupied, what is the position of priority of these thoughts? It will go somewhere down. Okay, if I get time, I will do chanting. If I get time, I will go to temple. But at the end, those things will be low priority. You will have a very less priority. You will not be able to take that okay, I will do first all my activities, while before sleeping, I will do my chanting. So that kind of thing. So everything will be prioritized low. Thousands of thoughts coming, you will always prioritize less importance to those thoughts. But when you start offering to prayers, when you start offering asking mercy of the Supreme Lord through prayers, what will happen? Those thoughts will be strengthened. Those spiritual thoughts will be you will be giving more importance to those spiritual thoughts and suppressing, you will not suppress, you will less prioritize other material thoughts. So that is one of the advantage of offering prayers. So when you offer the prayers, all your spiritual thoughts will have higher priority and you will be able to progress in your spiritual thing. So that is one of the advantage of offering prayers. So it will strengthen our spiritual thoughts and prioritizing less priority, deprioritizing to the other material thoughts. And the second advantage is impossible to possible. When you start offering prayers, the impossible, whatever tasks you feel impossible, it will be easily possible. One famous, we know all the easy example is Srila Prabhupada's life. When he was in very old age, he traveled America, and within 10 years he established all around the world various temples. It's not just something happened in magically, right? Prabhupada was sincerely working on this. In one of many lectures we hear in the Vrindavan Radha Damodar temple, the Rupa Goswami Samadhi was there. And after Prabhupada left this planet, one Babaji was explaining this pastime. So Babaji's house was next to the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan. And that Baba used to, every day night, he used to hear some noise. A couple of times he ignored those noise. But later it was happening every day. Then he thought of looking what is happening there. Then he from his wall, he tried to see the other side, what is happening. Then he saw that Srila Prabhupada taking his broom and cleaning the Rupa Goswami Samadhi and praying that please give me the strength and to fulfill the desire of my spiritual master. That was his prayer. So when he was continuously every day night, he was praying at the Rupa Goswami Samadhi and offering his prayers to that, please give me the ability to fulfill his spiritual master desire. That was his prayer. Right? So with that, because of these prayers and all the mercy he was getting, he was able to complete his spiritual master desire fulfilled. He established a temple. Nobody could imagine that a 70 years old person in the age of with so many two heart attacks, and it's a very old age. It is the age to take the retirement. And at that time he started this process, this bhakti. Because of that we are sitting and here discussing the Bhagavatam, right? So that is the power of prayers. So when you offer prayers sincerely, you will get the impossible tasks it will become possible. Not only that, even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also, as I was mentioning previously, 9 years before starting Gaudiya Math, he used to do 192 rounds of chanting every day. We can't imagine, for 16 rounds we will struggle to finish. And you can, every 192 rounds, he used to do 9 years continuously before. So all these prayers, see, these great exalted devotees, we see like they have achieved anything, but it didn't happen just like that. So much effort was there from these devotees. Because of that, they were able to get the required results with the mercy of their spiritual masters and the Supreme Lord mercy, with all these prayers giving them the results. And the next benefit of the prayer is nourishing the soul. Like when we like in our material body conditions, we always plan, right? Okay, morning we have to have breakfast, afternoon lunch, and evening dinner. Otherwise, our body will be weak. We will not be able to perform any activities. So, right, we always focus on our material body. Yes, it is required to perform all the devotional services, any activities, whether it's material or devotional, we need to get energy, and to get that energy we have to take the food, prasadam. But at the same time we cannot ignore the food for soul. What is that? These prayers will be the food for soul. When you do the prayers, mind will be, when the soul will be enriched and like nourished, and when it will be nourished, you will have happy. You feel happy. Like one of the Oxford University studies revealed that the people who do prayers, they live longer than who doesn't do any prayers. So this was a study conducted in Oxford University. The particular one, I don't know the exact department which one, but they revealed that their publications reveal that the people who offer prayers, they will live longer than the people who are not offering any prayers. Since the mind will make you, when you start doing the offering prayers, your mind will be happy. So when your mind will be happy, your whole body will be feeling, you will be positive vibes you will have. One example, one real story. This was happened long back. There is one doctor called Dr. West, and he was treating a patient. His name is Mr. Wright, and he's having the cancer, lymphoid cancer, and it said it was in advanced stage, it seems, I think, and there was no cure. He was not able to come out of this cancer disease, and he was from the ICU to, they shifted to normal ward because there is not much treatment available. So they kept him in the moved into the normal ward in the hospital. And one day that person saw a news in the newspaper. He saw a news saying that there is a medicine available. It is under trials, but they are positive that this medicine will cure the same cancer which the person was suffering. So that person immediately called the doctors. They showed the paper. See, this medicine is coming up now. Can you get this medicine? I wanted to take this medicine. Because the patient is very rich. He said, I can afford any amount of money to get that medicine. Please bring that medicine from the laboratory, wherever it is they are conducting trials. So doctors told it is not practically possible. But the patient was very, very, very keen to get that medicine. Then doctor played a trick. So he made one injection, prepared one medicine, and it looks similar to the medicine which the doctors were, the laboratory scientists were doing the experiment, and he gave that injection to this person. And surprisingly, even doctors were surprised. Within 2 weeks, all his cancer tumors were gone, and within a month's time, he was perfectly all right. And the doctor discharged from the hospital. The reason is, he thought the medicine went inside, and internally he started feeling happy, that confident, very positive thing. Then all the tumors were gone. And after 6 months, again that patient came back to the hospital with again tumors on his body. And the doctors asking, they admitted into the hospital. And then the patient was telling, recently he saw a newspaper that the medicine which they were conducting trials were not giving positive results. It's not working efficiently. That medicine and that news he saw, again he went into depression, and all the tumors reverted back. So that summary moral of the story is, when your mind is happy, it may not completely cure your disease, but it will increase your lifespan. Some cases it may cure the disease, and depending on what kind of disease, but in some cases it will increase the lifespan. So the mind happiness, how you will get? Through offering prayers. When you offer prayers, when you do chanting is a prayer. We are asking chanting. When you do chanting means we are asking Srimati Radharani and Krishna to engage us in their service. Right? So everything is a prayer. So the prayer makes you feel happy. When you feel happy, you will not be, all these diseases either will be cured, or it will be, your lifespan will increase, so that we can do more devotion. That should be our ultimate. And other things is, when we do prayers, we'll be more organized. Like suppose if you are meeting a famous person, like Prime Minister of Australia, Prime Minister of India, like when you got an appointment, so what you will do? You will prepare very well. That in the given time, what should I speak? What should I ask? How should I behave? How should I respond? Like all these things you plan it before you meeting that person. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, who is the creator of this whole universe, when you are going and talking to him, definitely you will not go randomly and do something, speak whatever you like, right? So you will be prepared. You will be organized. You do all planning. What kind of things I should tell in a given time, whatever time you got, you will. So if you do regularly this, you will become more organized. So when you do you prepare for prayers every day, then it will become a habit. So the same thought logic you will apply in all other areas. Like you will be able to plan, and more efficiently you will be doing everything in an organized way, a systematic way. And another advantage is, like we in a material world, we think that we buy many items, house, car, any other things. Like I feel I am the owner of these items. I am the owner of big bungalow. I am the owner of big car, or I am the owner of big TV. Like we always think that we are the owners. But when you start offering prayers, you will think that Supreme Lord Krishna is the owner of everything. He is the owner. Only by His mercy only we got all these items, right? What will happen? From you start thinking initially you are the boss, but when you start offering prayers, you realize that Krishna is the boss. You are only servant to the Krishna. That mood will come in your inside you, and what will happen? So because of you are all false ego, like you are the boss, you are the controller, like all those thoughts will gradually wiped out. So this is all these indirect benefits. It takes time, but these things will happen. These are the benefits of offering prayers. And if you want to, see, generally we think that, I have so much money, I have do so many things, so with that money, my material opulence, I can buy the Lord. That's what you may feel, right? But Lord, if you go to the Lord and say, Lord, I am so much rich, please come to me, then what Lord will say? I am the husband of Lakshmi, Lakshmipati. So who else can be richer than me, right? That's what Lord will reciprocate. If you say that, if you try to convince Lord that I am so beautiful, What Lord will say? Okay, Radharani's toenail is more beautiful than you, right? And if you say, I am very stronger, I am very powerful, please come to me, please stay with me, then Lord can say, when he was 7 years old, he lifted Govardhan. And he was lifting Govardhan not just for a minute. He was standing there for 7 days, day and night, right? So who else can be stronger than Krishna? So all these material possessions you cannot buy. And if you say, I am very famous, I have so many followers in the Facebook, so many followers in the Instagram, I am very, very much famous in this material world, then Lord will say, the material one is 14 planetary systems, right? In every planet, people know me. I am that famous. What is your follower? Like 1,000 million followers in the Facebook, Instagram doesn't make you famous, right? So like this, Lord is in all cases, He is superior. We cannot buy with our material possessions. And what He can do? Only prayers. When He offers sincere prayers, only we can buy Lord. Like we see in the Sri Krishna Rukmini Devi pastime in Tulabara, where she just put the tulsi leaf and offered prayers, and Krishna came towards Rukmini Devi's side, right? So prayers, that is the importance of prayers, potency of the prayers. And when we do the prayers, as we discussed briefly, like previously, it develops relation with the Lord. Like in our material world, you have seen some people and you want to develop a relation with those person. What? Simply by seeing that person, you cannot establish the connection and the relation, right? You have to speak to him. You have to talk to him. You have to know about him. What is he doing? And if particularly in the business context, so if you are trying to get some business contract from particular person, from company, what you do? You go to that company and you will have you will set up meetings with those company owners, CEO, whoever is responsible for giving the contract. And you will go with him, coffee catch up, so many things you will do. You try to please him so that you will get the contract, right? Same way, this offering prayers is like same thing we have to do. When you have to establish the connection, knowing that Krishna is a Supreme Lord, He took birth in Madhura, He is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, those things will not it will not establish a connection directly. But when you talk to the dear Lord, when you talk to the Supreme Lord in the form of prayers, that will establish your connection to the Lord, Supreme Lord. So the prayers are very much important. So in this, there is a verse, how Krishna reciprocates. Like in the material world, you need to be more formal, more systematic to connect to a particular person. But how Krishna is not that kind of person. So there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 2nd chapter. There is a Sanketyam Parihasam cha Stobam Helanam Evava Vaikunta Nama Grahanam Aga Ashesa Aga Haram Vidu. So, these are the words recited by Vishnu Dutas. They explaining the glories of holy name. What is it? Vaikunta Nama Grahanam. Like when you chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord who is residing in Vaikunta, you can, like all the sins will be Ashesha Aga Haram Vidu. Ashesha means unlimited. Aga means all the sinful reactions will be haram, will be wiped out. But how you do chanting? Like it can be Sanketya, means it can be formal. Or if you do Parihasam, in the joking way also if you do, Lord will accept. And if you Stobam, means with all the instruments and everything, Kirtan, when you do that also, He will accept. And Helanam, if you do, make fun of it. Suppose when you do Harinam, going on the Harinam, many people make fun of us. Even if you do with the fun they do, they will get benefited. So Lord is so merciful that whether you do fun, whether you joke, whether you do proper faith, whenever you do chant, when you do prayers, Lord will wipe out all your sins. That is the how merciful Lord is. We don't need to be very formal. Yeah, it's good from our side we should be formal, but proper Vidhan we have to follow. But Lord doesn't care all those things. Lord sees our mood. Similarly, in Ramayana, there is a verse Sakruteva Tavai Asmi. Like when you say to the Lord Rama, I am yours. Once He will be protecting forever. Right? That is what the assurance Supreme Lord is giving. Just offer a prayer, I am yours. That's it. Lord will always protect you. That is the reason Vibhishan came and offered obeisances and he wanted to take shelter. He gave, even though the Vanaras was telling, okay, he's from opposite enemy camp and we should not trust him. But Rama told, whoever comes and asks me, take, I am yours, then he will protect him forever. So that is the kind of assurance Lord is giving when we offer prayers. Though these are some of the benefits, but what should be the content of our prayers? Right? So we discussed that prayer nothing but talking to the Lord. What are we talking? Just gossiping? Okay, this person is doing this person is doing like this. No, those are not the prayers. No, that is not the prayer. What is the prayer? You can say thank you. Like all day you have done so many things, and at the end of the day, before sleep, just say thank you for all the things, whatever he has done today, on that day, right? Just say thank you. The simple thanks is enough that is also a prayer. And other option, prayer can be like, you have so many anarthas, so many bad habits you have. You may not be able to tell all those things to anyone outside your family or friends, but go to the Lord. Tell that what are the bad habits you have, what are the bad anarthas you have, all the anarthas, whatever you have. Just you open your heart and pray, Lord, that remove all this. This is a prayer. So one is you can say thanks. You can express your heart that whatever bad habits, anarthas, you can pray, Lord, to remove all those. And asking forgiveness. You must have committed many offenses throughout your life and every day. Right? You ask for the forgiveness. And you can ask something to Lord. But it's not good to ask any material benefits. But if you are very neophyte stage, if you are not able to control your things, you can ask Lord. But mainly, you choose ask spiritual things rather than material. Like in case of Dhruv Maharaj. I get confused between Dhruv and Prahlad. So Dhruv Maharaj, in case of Dhruv Maharaj, what he was asking? He was looking for a kingdom greater than his great-grandfather, bigger than great-grand Brahma. Right? That was a material desire. To get this desire fulfilled, he went to do tapasya. But finally what happened? When the Lord Vishnu appeared, put the conch shell on his body, all these material desires got wiped out. So, even if you go to the Lord with a material desire, He will ensure that those desires will not come again and it will be removed. So, these are all some of the benefit, like the ways we can do the offering. Thanks. So, and practicality, when you see, like when we start offering prayers, we think that, okay, Lord is not reciprocating. But we need to understand that all the time, Lord is always be with you. He will be protecting you, but not the way you are thinking. We need to understand. So you may be offering prayers that, okay, if I do these prayers, Lord may complete this task. Maybe it is a spiritual or material. He may be helping you finishing particular task. But Lord will have a bigger plan. You may have we are material, we are conditioned. We only have a little understanding on things what we are doing. But Lord will have a bigger plan, bigger picture, right? So He will be doing the things which is beneficial to you. You may not know at that time the benefit of what Lord is doing, but you think that, okay, I was expecting something, but it didn't happen. You may feel sad sometimes. Oh, Lord didn't give. He is not reciprocating to my prayers. But Lord will have a bigger plan. You may think that is feel sad on that day, but after 1 month, 1 year, you realize that, oh, God didn't do the help. He did not fulfill that task. It was good for me. Otherwise, I would have done something else. Like that, you will read. There are many instances. And I think I'll take 3 more minutes, 4 minutes. I'll tell one pastime relation to this activity, this aspect, like how the Lord's plan will be there. We may think something, but Lord will do in a different way. There is a real incident happened in Tirupati Balaji temple. So in India, South India, there is a famous Balaji temple is there. It's a Vishnu's temple, and the temple it's a very big temple. Like in one day, sometimes you get 10 crores of rupees donation, like in some days. It's a very big temple. and the temple will be run by government IAS office. Like in India, there is the Indian Administrative Service Officer. It's a very prestigious, very high visible position in the government. So generally government allocate those officers to run the show, day-to-day activities. So one particular, he published a book after working there as an executive officer for some time. He published a book called Naham Karta Hari Karta. Means, I am not the doer, Hari is the doer. Then that he mentioned one pastime. That is a real incident happened. When he was working in the Tirupati, executive officer, so there are Tirupati, it's like 7 hills. Lord is there on the top of the 7 hills. In the ground, in the below the ground level, all the officers. This executive officer was working in the ground floor. And what he does, he's the executive means he's head of the temple, everything. He's the head of all the officers, he's the head. So every day morning, every day, once in a week, he goes to the Tirupati Balaji temple in the evening, 3:30 to 4 o'clock, and next day morning in the Mangalarti, he will attend all the Abhishek and everything, and he'll come back to his office. And then that was his regular activity. One day, the day he is supposed to go to the temple. In the night, he is supposed to stay in the temple in the overnight. So even generally starts at 3:30 in the evening. But somehow because of something, he was unable to start. Some meetings were coming, some people were calling. So he was busy with some work and he was unable to start. So it was 3:30, supposed to 3:30 over, 4:30. 4:30 is also 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. Then 9:30, his driver came. Sir, I am leaving. Are we not going to the temple today? So then he said, okay. Then he decided, okay, it's 9:30, let's go. Because he is the head of the temple, he can go anytime. So, but the Tirumala, like as I mentioned, it's the 7 hills. Like you have to go to a very narrow road. It's a road they built nicely, but it's like a forest. You will have to go through the forest, and it's very small road. And in that time, after 7:38, they will not allow anyone to travel up because of safety. The wild animals will be roaming. So for safety measures, they will not allow anyone to go up to the hill to take darshan. So, but he started, since he is a officer, he can go with the security, he was going. And at the beginning of the hill, there will be a police check post will be there, where they will do all the checkups, like people, normal people, whoever is going to take darshan, there, they will open all their vehicles, they will do all the security check. And so there, this officer was asking, how is the situation there? Because sometimes it will be very crowded. In general, it will take 14 to 15 hours to take darshan, sometimes. If you are in the queue, you will be there in the queue, and after you will come out of the temple taking darshan only after 14-15 hours. So that day was the busiest day during that period. So so many people were there for darshan. It's like a big mess, like so much crowd. So many things are not happening as per the plan. So he inquired and he was going up to visit. Then suddenly on the road, one person was stopping. He was there side. He thought initially some people were just randomly stopping. Then he saw his family was there. There was a vehicle stopped next on the side. So then this officer stopped and he inquired. Then that person told, I was going to take darshan. His darshan was, the general they will give time slot. You have to go particular time period to take darshan. So my darshan was that so and so time, but my vehicle was having the problem. I was unable to go up with the family. So that person, then this is an officer, so he asked him to come inside. So somehow he managed to squeeze all the family members in his car and he was going up to take darshan. Then in the car, the passenger who stopped the car, he was explaining, telling everything. Like he had his son's marriage day before yesterday. He was generally the tradition that as soon as the marriage is done, he will take the bride and his son and take darshan of the Lord, and the next day after going there only, they do all other rituals required as per their tradition. So after marriage, immediately they came out of the hall and they were living in Mysore. There is a place Mysore in Karnataka near Bangalore. He was coming from Mysore. So he was explaining that. So yesterday marriage happened. As soon as marriage completed, we started here. Many were their relatives telling that don't rush, after finishing everything you go and take darshan. But they are very much followers of Tirupati Balaji. They wanted to have darshan immediately. So then but what happened finally? When they started coming to the temple, on the way up to the hill, that vehicle got stopped and they were unable to go up. Now everything, all his plans were changed. Now he was to keep on cribbing that I will love so much to the Lord, I do so much devotion. So, but what Lord did, see, now I am unable to take darshan, I am unable to go back to my home as per the plan, and all my rituals, everything will be disturbed. He was keep on telling in the car. He doesn't know that the person who is in the car is the head of the temple. So he was just casually telling. Then the officer also, he didn't tell that I am the head of this temple. So he went up, and after reaching the hill, he called his secretary and he told that arrange all the everything, take this family and arrange the accommodation, give the special darshan and send them back immediately after everything is done. So that thing happened. After few days, few weeks, he received a letter from that person. Then in the letter he was mentioning that I didn't know that you are the head of this temple, and that day in the car I was keep on complaining about Lord, but now I realized that why Lord did like that. The reason is that day it was so much crowd, so much many people were taking darshan. If as per the plan, if he go on his own with allotted time, he would have not finished the take darshan in the same day. So he would have continued staying more days there and to take the darshan. But since now the Lord, what he did, he arranged everything. His vehicle got punctured, something problem happened, and he ensured that this officer was delayed, and they arranged it so that this person met the officer, and everything was done in a smooth fashion. He finished the darshan with the help of that officer and he returned. Then the person was telling, on that day I was thinking that, oh, Lord was not at all helping me. But now, after this few days, he realized that because those things happened on that day, so immediately he came back to home after taking darshan, he was able to complete all other formalities. So that is how we need. Lord, we may think something Lord will do as per our thing, but Lord will be there with you. He will take the best possible action for you. You may not realize that is the best, but you will realize later stage. So this is one example. So this is how when we do the prayers, the Lord will definitely reciprocate in a way best suitable manner for us. So that is the moral of the story. So this is all about the prayers. So I think, sorry, I took a little bit more time. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Bhaktarund ki jai.